¿Qué onda amigos? What's up guys? Levi here with Latino Fluency, where I teach you Spanish, Portuguese, and a bit about Latin America. In today's video, we're going to continue the Spanish fundamentals series where I'm going to focus today on the verb ser. So the verb ser means to be in Spanish. And in Spanish, you might already know this, we have two ways of expressing to be, right? We have the verb ser, we have the verb estar. So in today's video, we're just looking at the verb ser. If you guys are ready, let's go. All right guys, so like I said, in today's video, we're looking at the verb ser. You're gonna see right here that we actually have estar next to it. However, I have it blocked out on purpose. We don't wanna focus on too much at once. If you are new to Spanish, the concept of having two verbs for to be is pretty complicated. So just think about this. In English, we have it easy with this part of our grammar. It's to be is the infinitive, and we conjugate it. I am, you are, he or she is, we are, they are, in the present indicative, in the present, right? The present, general present tense. That's how we say it. In Spanish, it gets a little tricky though. So this is kind of unfair to us, English speakers learning Spanish. Right out of the gates, when we're learning basic Spanish, we have to learn this really confusing concept of having two words for to be. So just know that all of Spanish is not always as confusing. All of Spanish grammar is not always as confusing. But there's going to be things like this that pop up that will kind of make us question our sanity of even trying to learn Spanish in the first place. But just know, take a deep breath, and understand that it's not always like this. There's some parts of Spanish grammar that are actually really easy. This is really not one of them, but let's learn it. It's fundamental, and it's really not that hard once you really familiarize yourself with the concepts. Okay, so we have here the verb ser, right? The verb ser, and let's look here at when we are using this verb. I think that's very important to start with that before we go to how to conjugate the verb, right? So let's look here. We're going to use this when we're talking about dates. So like dates of time, right? Occupation, characteristic, time, origin, relation. In another video, I'm going to do a deeper dive into some examples with this, right? And also we'll look at a deeper dive of how we're using these, some actual examples of estar. But that's for another video. Let's focus 100% on this part one video, just focusing on the verb ser. Okay, so keep that in mind. There's going to be instances where we use ser, and there's going to be instances where we use estar. Okay? And you'll learn those. So right here, Spanish verb conjugation. Spanish verb conjugation of the verb ser. So keep in mind, ser is what we call an irregular verb. All right, so it has this weird conjugation that it doesn't really follow any kind of set pattern. With most verbs in Spanish, you will discover that you have this pattern that's pretty easy to predict, and it's going to make learning Spanish quite a bit easier than you think. So once you learn those patterns for other verbs, for example, to eat, okay, comer, that verb will follow a certain pattern. Other verbs like that as well. Ser is not one of them. That's okay. So we have yo, soy. We have the singular pronoun, yo, me, or I in this case, soy, yo soy. Tú, you, eres, tú eres, you are. Él o ella, he or she is. Usted, you, formal, es, okay? So in Spanish you'll learn that we have a you informal that we use the majority of the time, at least in most Spanish-speaking countries, and usted is formal, talking to like a sir or a ma'am, something like that. Next here we have plural pronouns, okay? So for example, we have nosotros or nosotras, so us. So nosotros somos, we are. Vosotros. This right here is talking about you guys or y'all in Spain. In Spain, they use vosotros. Good to know. Is it essential for communicating? At this stage, beginner Spanish, I would say no, unless you plan on spending some time in Spain or spending time around Spanish speakers from Spain. Ellos son. Ellas son. So they, the men, son, they are. Ellas, just women, son, they are. Okay? And ustedes son. So ustedes is like you all, you guys, okay? And we talk about it just a plural group of people. You all, you guys, y'all are. Ustedes son. So bear in mind here that with ustedes and with vosotros, in I would say the bulk of Latin America, we're using ustedes, okay? All of Latin America really, ustedes. In Spain, you're going to get vosotros. You don't say ustedes in Spain, okay? So just keep that in mind. I would just learn one depending on where you, or what Spanish you're most interested in. I always say to focus in on one Spanish dialect, and that makes learning Spanish much more simple and much less stressful. If you're trying to learn all of the dialects at once, it makes the language a lot more difficult than it needs to be. So pick one, focus on that, just know that they both exist, okay? Anyways guys, that is all we have for this video right here. I hope it was short as I planned for it to be, and I hope that it makes sense. If you have any questions, leave a question down in the comments below. If you like the video, give me a thumbs up. That shows me and YouTube that you like the video. And subscribe to this channel. I'm putting out a lot of Spanish fundamental videos, and I also do other types of videos as well. I also have a podcast. It is a Spanish immersion podcast to practice your listening. It's 100% in Spanish. That is also going to really be useful for you. And eso es todo. Espero verte en el próximo video. Nos vemos pronto. Adiós.